video is going to be all about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. We're going to tell you what we think. You know, after hundreds of rallies we've been to, we're going to rank this one where this one actually was at. So stay tuned. We're going to tell you everything and anything you might want to know.
There you go. Stay tuned and find out what we did.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kyle at Pig Trail Harley-Davidson. We're finishing up the last day of Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. I want to thank you all for coming out and supporting the rally, riding the paradise roads that we got here, and we can't wait to see you in 2026. It's going to be bigger and better, guaranteed.
So we're standing here in front of Pig Trail Harley-Davidson.
Just brought the bike back.
Yep, we drove almost within about 30 miles of 1,000 miles in just right about a week here. We were out here riding around. So, hey, not too bad for all the different coverage we did, you know, over there at the bars and being over here for a day. So, did quite a bit of riding. We wanted to do more, just didn't get enough time to do it all. We might have to even come back a little sooner next year.
Well, the problem is all the rides here are like big rides. They're all like 150 miles plus. So that's the not the bad part, but the good part. I don't know. But the weather was perfect. It was awesome. All the people, we want to say a big shout out to everyone that helped us that was out here, all the subscribers that we saw. Thanks so much.
There you go. I want to talk to you all later, so stay tuned.
You saw online too, right?
Yeah, 50calbulletbells.com.
So I missed them down here in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Make My Day Jewelry. He does those 50 caliber gremlin bells that he makes. It's got all kinds of different parts and things you can put on it. So if you go to 50cal.com, I believe that's it. If not, I'll put the correct one down here. You can see him online. He will also be at Panama City Beach and Galveston. Those are his last two rallies for the year. So if you didn't get to see him here at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, check him out down there at Panama City Beach for the fall rally and Galveston, the Lone Star rally down there in Galveston, Texas. So you can hear the bell from here. He also gave us a bell to put on our Bike Builds vet bike. So that bell will be on that bike when we give it away. So you get a special bell just from him if you win that bike.
Hi guys, we're wrapping it up here in BBB in Arkansas, Rogers, Arkansas. We had a great rally. Thanks to all my good customers. Thanks to my repeat customers. Appreciate all y'all. We're heading back home for about a week, and we're going to be at Daytona Bike Week in Daytona, Florida. So we'll be set up at the dealership. There is a little bit of change going on. I think I'm going to be in my same normal spot, but if not, you may have to look for us. We could possibly be a little bit further up front on the other front side of the pavilion, closer to the dealership. So come see us. Handlebars, fat bagger handlebars, dirty air ride, Olin suspension, native fat tire kits. We can get you taken care of.
you guys all together?
Yeah, we're all together. We're heading back to Fayetteville right now.
You guys got a club or
No.
just a bunch of guys that have old bikes? Customized bikes. Today we're going to go ahead and you've seen a whole lot of excitement going on over there at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. You know, they had a lot of stuff going over there in Rogers. They was also over there in Eureka Springs. So let's tell you a little bit about what we seen and what we thought. First off, I want to say we probably had the best weather you could have ever had at a rally.
That's right.
During the day, it was probably up in somewhere in the 80s, and at night was like in the about 55. So overall, a really great time. There was no rain. It was blue skies. You couldn't have asked for anything any better than what we got. So that's the first thing we could say.
That's right. It was a little warm if you were standing still, but on the bike, it was perfect riding weather.
And with everything going on over there in Eureka Springs, we had the Cathouse. You know, that's kind of the central area if you're going to go out and do a lot of riding. A lot of great places to do. You know, we went over there to Branson. You know, that's only an hour away from Eureka Springs, so it's pretty close. And you're about an hour away from Rogers. So you're kind of centrally located. That's kind of why we like to stay there, just because it kind of gives us that opportunity to go either direction. If you were looking to go there, that's kind of some of the things you might want to think about where you might want to stay. A couple people were saying they had stayed in Bentonville and the traffic was a lot worse over there. They're bigger cities. Both those two cities, Bentonville and Rogers, are right up against each other. They're in the high 60,000 people. So that, you know, that's like
Population
it's about 130 to 140,000 people there. So that's a lot of people there to be involved versus over there in Eureka Springs. I think it was 4 or 5,000, maybe it was 3,000. I don't remember exact total there.
2,000.
But I mean, a lot of cars are over there too. There is some traffic over there, but it's not as nearly as bad as what they have over there in those two cities. So if I was going to stay in Rogers or Bentonville, I'd probably stay more closer in the Rogers area. Try to get something that would be closer, you know, on the other side of Rogers, like over by the dealership would be a good place
Over
to
the
be.
east side.
That way it wouldn't be quite as much congestion. You know, the other good thing about Rogers is there's a lot of great places to eat. Lots and lots and lots. You couldn't even eat at all the places if you stayed there a year, probably. So they had a lot of that. That's what's kind of cool there. But it's more of a city atmosphere. It's not as much as like when you get over to Eureka Springs, it's more of the Ozarks. You got the hills and stuff like that. So it really makes it kind of special there. But some of the things, what do we really like, what we didn't like? This year there was less vendors. And the reason was because Eureka Springs had to change, and Rogers, they had to change the dates because Walmart had the LPGA, and they would not allow those two events to go on the same day, and the LPGA overrode the bike rally. That was
More
life.
money, I guess.
But it worked out better because actually the weekend they would have had it would have rained the whole weekend, where this weekend we had no rain at all. So, you know, maybe things
worked out.
Yep, things are supposed to be. But bad news was, you know, it butted up against Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach had the
fall rally.
Yeah, they could have had a hurricane. They got some rain and stuff there, I think, for the first part of the rally. We also had the Smoky Mountain rally. It was their third rally. You know, we're going to talk just a little bit about that rally. I'm not quite sure why somebody put that together and tried to compete with
Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, because it's, you know, Myrtle Beach has had some issues and back and forth, but with Suck Bang Blow down there and Beaver Bar, they're always going to get the attraction that they have. They're not going to be able to pull away from there to get people to go to Smoky Mountain. I think a 10-day rally like the Smoky Mountain's trying to do, I think it's a bad idea. One is, if you've got kids or anything, they're in school. Right. How are you going to get anybody to watch your kids or anything like that? In the summertime, you can dump them off at Grandma and Grandpa's or dump them off someplace or bring them along. But in this case, you can't. So I'm really thinking that that's really a bad choice for them. They should really do is, they wanted to do a rally like that, is maybe come right after Myrtle Beach Spring Rally, and they could do a 10-day rally up against that one to where the vendors would move along with them. So bad news is they didn't do very well. Most of the vendors we talked to about 4 or 5 vendors that were there that said they weren't very happy at all. A lot of them are considering not going back next year.
They said they did do better than last year, but last year it was during hurricane.
Yeah, hurricane and flooding. So that ain't saying nothing. So I think they should kind of scrap that idea of that rally. It just isn't, I don't think it's going to go at the time that they're trying to put it out. Not saying it's a bad rally. It's just not the proper time to really do that. And if they keep pushing it, I don't think they're going. I think it's just going to look bad, because if they try to move the dates later on, it's just going to ruin the idea, and people are just going to have a bad taste, and they're just not going to come back. So that's just something I wanted to just let you know about rallies, because we see them all the time, how they go and stuff. And when you butt up against other rallies, bigger rallies, you have a real hard time about it. And like I say, most of the time, like in Eureka Springs, we had people come from Texas, we had people from Illinois, we had Iowa,
South Dakota.
So we had a lot of
Australia.
It pulled a big group of people coming in. So, which is actually, I was kind of shocked about how many people were coming from a distance and stuff. Attendance wise, it's hard to say. It seemed like Eureka Springs didn't have the volume that they've had in the past, but over there in Rogers, you've seen a little bit of that on today, and then if you watch the video that we put out on Saturday, there was a lot of bikes. There was a good 5,000 or 10,000 bikes just running around in Rogers during that on Saturday. So there was a lot of people there. What the attendance is, nobody can count how many the attendance is. You know, it could have been a 20 or 30,000 people could have showed up. I don't really know. Could have been less. Could have been a little more. It's hard to say at rallies. There's no way you can count it. But basically, I think this one turned out to be really one of the best ones. The vendors that we did talk to, that we deal with, all did exceptional numbers for the rally. They were busy the whole time. It wasn't a whole lot of choices, but the dealership did really well. I think they sold about 150 motorcycles, so they're pretty happy with what they did. So that's good for, for just a 4-day rally. So that was really good for them. We also found a couple of the new venues going on there. The Indian dealer, you got a brand new owner there.
There you go. Mach 1 and CJ and Casey and Courtney.
And they're getting ready to open at the Cotty and the BMW. Is that what the other one's going to be? A big, giant building. If you look at our videos and you see those steel poles right down the street in between the Indian dealer and the Harley-Davidson dealer.
23,000 square foot.
Yeah, it's going to be big. It's a big. I don't know if it's quite that big, but it's definitely a very big shop. It looks like it's going. It should be done by next year. So hopefully we can check that out next year and see what they've got going on there. But they're really excited. They're actually tied in with
Bert's Barracuda and Black Widow Barracuda, or Black Widow, Black Widow.
There you go. She can't get it out. Right there, down there in Florida, in Port Charlotte, and over there in Tampa, Clearwater area. People get mad because I don't say Clearwater. So they've got some co-owners there that are kind of connected with the Mach 1 now that's going on. So I'm kind of excited. We met with those guys. They're really cool guys. So we might be talking to them in the future about some opportunities for us. So we'll see how that all works out. But overall, I was pretty pleased with the rally. Bad news with us is I just didn't get enough riding in and went. We did almost 1,000 miles on the bike. So put some miles on it. And so that was kind of exciting because that's just down there. We put about 800 miles on the rental car, just getting there and getting back and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, once we got the bike, I don't think we got in the...
Just get air in tire one day because I had a slow leak in the front tire of the car. And
did you tell him that?
Yeah. The guy gave me some big long spiel how he was trying to make it sound like, well, you could run over something and that could cause a... Like, I wasn't complaining about it.
Just wanted to let him know.
That's right. So the next poor guy doesn't have to keep putting air in it like I did. So, because last time I put about 40 pounds on it, I figured we're going to get back without having to worry about it running out of air. So I didn't see anything in the tire. I checked the valve stem, didn't see nothing. And I figured, well, we made it there. It sat there for a week. It was the way back. But I mean, the food was really good. Over there at the Cathouse, I think it was probably one of the best years that we've had excellent food. Every time we ate there was really, really good. My only exception would be is if they maybe add a few more things to the menu during the event. Because I thought they were going to have the pizza bites. And I think it could have been a little issue there with getting them. Because the day before the rally started, they ran out. So I don't know.
I think it was they ran out of the cheese dip.
But I mean, they were really good. They were fresh. They were hot. They were soft. And so I really liked that. And I think that would have been a good thing to have during the rally. But I mean, overall, the food was really good. Service seemed to be really good. It seemed like everybody was having a good time there. That is the bar. If you want to go down there, that is, out of all the places you go to, that's probably the only real biker bar. They're open year round. So it's not like some of these other places that only open up during the event or something like that. There's Switchback or something it's called.
Yeah, Switchback.
I don't think they're open.
Legends bar that's right there on the corner.
And that's not as big.
It's real tiny, but I mean, there was a lot of bikes in front of it.
On Saturday night, there was quite a few. There was probably 20 or 30 bikes, but not compared to the Cathouse, which probably had 100 or more bikes sitting out front. So if you checked it out on this video, you've seen all those bikes those guys fixed up, those rat bikes and things like that they had, bobbers and stuff that they did. It was kind of cool. I would have liked to have talked to them a little longer, but I didn't realize till they were getting ready to get on their bikes and leave that they were actually there. I didn't hear them come up. So I don't know where they came from. But so that was kind of cool to see that. But I mean, it's definitely need to do some, it'd be nice to have some bike shows down there. Try to track some new things. We did get a little bit of that Corvette show that first weekend. Be looking for that here in the next week or so. I don't know if I'll be able to get it done before we leave. Put it on the car channel, and we'll put a little snippet here on our channel to tell you to go over to the car channel so you can check that all out. But I mean, it was pretty cool to see the vets, and I don't know if we'll ever get the opportunity to do that because it's always that same weekend. So I think it'll be the weekend after we leave if they go back to the same dates next year.
That's why I said, well, if we come back next year the week before, we might get to see it. And he says, no, we're usually after the motorcycle rally. And so then that won't work.
Yeah, so probably won't get to see that ever again. But if you're interested in Corvettes, that might be something you might want to stay for the weekend after and check that all out. It had a lot more late models than they did the earlier models, which is more I'm interested in. I'm not so interested in. But hey, that electric one was pretty cool. And they had one, I think it's got like 1,200 horsepower or something coming out of it. I was talking to my son-in-law. He said, yeah, that was actually Corvette made that motor. It has a motor in the front and an electric motor in the back. So I don't know much about it. I didn't get the guy was so swamped with people, I didn't have time to talk to him and stuff. So we highly, highly recommend to put this on your list of things to do. The only bad thing is they don't really have a big airport around there that's close. You either have to fly into Springfield, Missouri, which is about an hour away, or you can go down to Tulsa, which is a bigger airport, which is about a 4-hour drive back.
Most people ride their bikes in or trailer in.
Yeah. But I mean, quite a few. For some of our foreigners, we didn't ask them where those guys flew in at from Australia to see how they got here.
I flew in Fayetteville. Fayetteville, they do have an airport right outside of Rogers, but it's a small airport and it's kind of pricey.
It's kind of like going in the Rapid City or something like that. You're going to end up paying more money than what you could do because sometimes it's cheaper to fly into like Tulsa and rent a car and it would pay for all that. And then you also just like the reason we rent a car most of the time is if we need to run to the store or something like that, we've got the car. Or if we need to, if it rains one day, instead of jumping on the bike, you can jump in the car and get around to where you need to go. The other thing we didn't really get to talk about much in Eureka Springs, they have that trolley. Yep. Next year, we're going to take it for probably 2 days, and we're just going to ride it around. That thing takes you everywhere. Even if you watched the other day, I think Saturday we showed the glass church. It actually went up there too. Yeah. So it probably would show you a lot of things that you normally wouldn't get to see. So I think it's like $6 for the day, or I think it's like $8 for the week or something you can get it for. And just go on all the different rides. I would, like I say, we're going to do it just because we want to see where it's going. But I mean,
and see some stuff that maybe we don't know about.
Bad news is quits at 6 o'clock at night. So that's the only bad thing about it, to where you couldn't take it down to the bars and stuff like that. But I mean, you could go one way, and they do have Uber, and there was a guy running around. If you've seen that limo out there, he was giving guys rides for a price probably.
Yeah, he was probably making some good bucks, because then when we were sitting there at the cat house, I must have seen him go by at least 5 or 6 times.
So there's always other opportunities to get you back to your campground or something like that, so you don't have to ride your bike. The cops were a little more, so far everybody we've seen got warnings. Another YouTuber got pulled over. We're not going to talk about him. I filmed him, but I wasn't going to put him on. That he got pulled over coming into the cat house, and he was going over. And once again, they didn't even give him a written warning. They just told him, they checked his ID, checked his insurance, everything was good, driver's license, everything. Came back out and said, hey, we're just going to give you a verbal warning, slow down. The one we put on the video the other day, same thing. He was doing 41 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. So you got to be cautious about that, because there's people running across the street, stuff like that. No, they don't need to be.
Or if it's a school zone or any of that.
Don't need to be stupid. Plus, you need to be very, very careful. We're going to find out the total count of accidents. I believe there were probably close to a half a dozen for sure. I'm pretty sure, thinking on, is that the 62?
Yes.
That runs into Rogers. I think where they put the cones out, if you're there on Saturday and Sunday, they put cones out, and I think that's where the accidents were at, so that way they can come back and investigate it next week or whatever they're going to do. But we've seen 3 different places there. She heard somebody on Pig Trail had a bad accident and maybe passed away. We don't know. We're going to try to get all of our numbers.
I overheard somebody else's conversation. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is.
One of the things you have to think about, if you're not used to riding, now this isn't the same as anywhere else. You could go to Lake of the Ozarks, and it's not quite as bad as what it is here in Eureka Springs. Eureka Springs has a lot of curves and a lot of hills. The biker guru dropped his bike on a hill. Somebody stopped in front of him, and the brake wouldn't hold, and he ended up sliding down, and him and his wife got hurt. Didn't total out his bike. We seen it the next day. If he wouldn't have told me, I wouldn't even have noticed it on his bike. But, things, you got to be cautious about that. It's like they say at the cat house. They say on an average during the bike week, it's 10 bikes a day get dropped out there. We've seen at least 4.
And that's not even a very big.
And they're just stopped. And they fall over. Because it's just...
Well, because you have to turn, and there's a little bit of incline, and it's a little bit tilted. So, yeah, there's like 3 things going on there. So you got to watch your footing.
If you're somebody that's tiptoeing for your bike to hold it up, you really want to find a good place to make sure you're on level ground when you getting on or getting off, or if you got a passenger with the bikes that I'm riding. I was on the 24. I'm flat-footed. A lot of times, even like in Sturgis, when she's on the back of the bike, I always wear boots, because it just gives me that more footing, a little bit more sole on it than what a tennis shoe would have, and I'm a little bit more stable than what I would be as if we were on a taller bike, and I same thing with just 2 feet. So be very, very cautious if you go there. But I mean, there's thousands of miles of riding out there. So that we highly recommend it. Any rallies you can go to is always a great support for the vendors, the towns, the businesses, and all that kind of great stuff. Overall, pretty much happy with the event. We weren't looking to really buy anything this year. We were more or less our goal was to do more rides. We did get that ride into Branson. If you check that out, we had about 45 to 50 people totally, and we had about 30 bikes. So it was a great time, great ride. Everybody said they had a great time. Michael Ballard there at the Full Throttle Saloon has gone to the next level. That place is just, I couldn't even say enough about it. You have to see it to believe it. And even with the video, we did the live there on that. I think it was Monday we were down there, and we did a live on it before we opened a week ago. A week ago. And I kind of walked around a little bit and showed you what it is. But the video isn't even going to do it justice. It's just a very professionally done, just the coolest place in the world. So I highly recommend. A lot of people have been commenting that they stopped on the way out. They were going that way and they had lunch or breakfast or whatever and said, yeah, they loved it too and couldn't say enough about it. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Glad we went. we'll have to figure out what we'll do next year for a ride or something like that. We'll try to do something the same thing, probably on that Thursday. So if you're thinking about coming out on Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, we try to stay away from the Fridays and Saturdays because things are there's a lot of hectic going on during that time.
A lot of people are coming in then already, and everybody's there for the weekend if they can't make it during the week, so they can't get off.
So with that, we're going to leave you right here. And coming up next is Biketoberfest.
That's right.
And it's never too late. We'll go ahead and put that little scan code up here. Someplace I'll stick it. And you can scan that and go to your phone or your computer and check it all out. They got all this great information on it and everything like that. And it also helps us because that was one of our last sponsors that we had come up here at the end of the year to sponsor that. And actually right now they say we're doing a really good job for being such a smaller channel to put out this great information. And so everybody's kind of scanning that code and they're checking it all out, and gives you places to stay, where the vendors are at, where to park a trailer at, just about everything you want to, rides, all kinds of cool
where
stuff.
Where you get the free stuff, your pins, your patches, your gear, all that stuff. It's all on that app. It's
Not
really
all that's
cool.
free, but some of that is.
Well.
So that, we'll leave you right here.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you enjoyed the video and got some good information. Put your comments down here if you went to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. Tell us what you thought about it. Don't forget to support our sponsors. They're the ones that get us to the rallies to get you all this great information. And don't forget to tell them Bob and Tam sent you. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And check out that Hypes button. Send it out to all your friends and family. And we'll see you in the next video.
There you go. We'll see you soon in Daytona.
Here we go.